Hey guys, we're going to do a quick 5-minute yoga morning routine. We're going to start off with our warrior pose. So we're going to have our back leg facing this wall, and then our front leg is going to be facing forward. We're going to walk this one out, and we're going to bend. You can take this however far you want. We're going to be stretching our inner groin muscle, a little bit of the hip flexor, and we're going to get a little bit of thigh warm-up with this, right? So we're coming out. Palms are both going to be up, and then we're just lunging forward, right? Hold this for about 20 seconds or so. Switching legs, so from the other side, this is what it's going to look like. And again, feel free to go as deep as you want, so you can really stretch it out. Don't worry about staying on the mat. Just come down nice and low with it. So I'm getting a good stretch on that back leg, but I'm also feeling stretch in my hip. So that's going to be our first one. Again, hold that for about 20 seconds. From that, you really don't need the yoga mat, depending on your flexibility. From that, we're going to go right into this pose. So ideally, come down pretty much right at the heel of your foot, and then we're opening up towards the ceiling. If you can't get it completely, that's okay. If your back mobility isn't that good, just point out towards the wall as much as you can, hold it, but ideally come here, or maybe even back. This is going to be stretching the chest, the upper thoracic of the back. Right? Again, about 20-30 seconds for that. So that's going to be our first two poses. Our next one, go ahead and grab your mat. In the morning, back's usually pretty stiff. So coming down to a kneeling position, we're going to do our cat-cow. So in this one, we're coming up doing our cow pose. So really arching the back. I'm bringing my belly button towards my spine and really creating that arch. I'm also pushing through my palms to create pressure through my shoulders to help with that. And I'm not only pressing down, but I'm pressing down and actually away to kind of create that force to go up, right? Hold this one for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then once you've done that, really drop the belly button down, pushing the spine with it, and creating a nice arch, a nice U shape. And I'm still doing that same force. I'm pushing down and pulling back, right? Alternate, coming back up. And back down. So those we're going to do back to back. So we're still aiming for that about 40 seconds total compared to the first one. Next we're going to go into our, I like to call it the seal pose. I think it's cobra, that's what they call it. But I'm going to drop my hips. This is good for anybody who does a lot of computer work. So you're dropping your hips down and then pushing back. As you can see, my lower abs and my hips are pretty tight because I'm not getting my hips all the way down. Ideally, you're coming from here up. So in my case, I'm doing this correctly. I should be here. But if you want to try and get a really good stretch, go ahead and lock those arms out. And then we're looking up towards the ceiling. So looking up towards the ceiling is going to stretch the neck. I'm stretching my abs, my hip flexor, which is the main muscle above the thigh, just below the hip bone, right? And then we're going to come back into child's pose. So I like to put my hands up, kind of like a karate chop. And I'm coming down with my torso, but I'm also coming back with my hips, right? So I'm stretching out my lat muscles, my back, stretching out a little bit of my rear deltoid, my shoulder, stretching out my lower back. And I'm trying to come down and basically sit on my heels. So I'm also stretching my thigh muscle. Right? Put your head wherever you want. Ideally, it's in a neutral position, so face is parallel to the ground. And then we're going to go back to that first one. Right? Each time we're trying to go a little bit lower with it. Again, holding each one for about 10 to 15 seconds. We come back to it. So 2 iterations on this, our warrior pose that we had to start off with. just one on each side. After this, we'll do one more. So we're gonna take our right hand, shoot it underneath our left arm, as far out as you can reach, as if you're trying to grab something, and then drive that right shoulder towards the ground. You should be looking through your arm at this point. This is going to stretch your upper inner back. This is where a lot of people get a lot of tension, especially if they have bad posture with their phone or if they do a lot of computer work. And it's a hard area to stretch, the upper inner back between the shoulder blades. Same thing on the other side. Each one, again, we're holding it for about 10 to 15 seconds, trying to go even further. This is a good one if you're at the gym, grab onto something here, or if you're working with a partner, have them grab your arm and actually pull it through a little bit further, right? So be like, hey, grab my hand. If you can't actually have them grab your wrist, you can get a better lock with that. You can have them pull you through in a nice gradual manner. Our last stretch that we're going to do here is actually one that I should probably do more. And it's more or less the butterfly. I don't know if this is a yoga stretch per se, but I'm going to add this one in here either way. Because it stretches the groin muscle, stretches the hip, and you can come like so. Right? Give you guys a bonus stretch here after this. So these would be the main ones that I'd recommend. The other one, this one we're holding for about 20 to 30 seconds. This last one, figure four, so we're going to cross just with one leg. I've crossed over my leg. I'm going to brace on the ground with my hands. I'm going to drive my heel back. I'm actually going to come up with it, right? So I'm actively trying to drive and drop my right knee down towards the ground. You should feel a really good stretch in that hip of the leg that is kind of making a arrow, if you will, pointing to the outside of the body. Right? Hold that for about 20, 30 seconds. Come back down, reset. Switching sides. So bring that right foot up. Excuse me. Bring the left leg over, then the right leg up, and then bring the body. You don't have to come up. This is just another way of getting a more intense stretch. I'll show you the more easy version, if you will. So the easier version would be to lay on the ground with this. So same thing, bring that up, and then we're going to push with our free hand. This one's going to be grabbing the ankle of the leg that is pointing out, and I'm just going to push like so. You can still bridge up if you want, but it's not as much pressure on the elbows or the arms. Right? Again, still about 20 to 30 seconds. So between all these, you should feel pretty mobile in the morning. It should take you about 5 minutes, and you're good to rock and roll for the rest of the day. Hopefully for a workout, a little bit of cardio. Hope this helped. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and comment or like below. And we have a full intro series for anybody who's interested in doing a workout program with nutrition. Also has a motivation section and summing it all up, putting a plan of action together so you can be good to go all the way through. That's going to be in a link below, along with social media and other helpful things like our newsletter and links to other areas of our social media. Again, hope you enjoyed this. I'll catch you in the next video.